Welcome to Agent Amigos Talk. Today, dreams versus tempo, the rhythm of reality. This is Dream versus Tempo. Sit back, this is going to be worth your time. Welcome, everyone, to a journey that will challenge how you think about two fundamental aspects of human existence, dreams and tempo. At first glance, these might seem like unrelated concepts. One belongs to the ethereal realm of sleep, the other to the practical world of daily schedules. But as we'll explore today, they are deeply intertwined, each shaping the other in profound ways. Dreams are not just nighttime hallucinations, they are the brain's way of processing reality, forging new connections, and sometimes revealing truths we ignore in our waking hours. Tempo, on the other hand, is the speed at which we live our lives, the rhythm of our heartbeats, the ticking of clocks, the pace of our work and play. In our modern world, tempo often feels like a tyrant, forcing us to rush, to do more, to be more. But what if we could learn to harmonize the two? What if our dreams could teach us to slow down, or our tempo could enhance our dream life? Today, I invite you to open your minds to TH. Let's start by understanding what dreams really are. Contrary to popular belief, dreams are not just random images that flash before our eyes while we sleep. They are complex narratives, often bizarre, sometimes beautiful, that emerge from the deepest recesses of our subconscious. During REM sleep, which occurs in cycles throughout the night, our brains become highly active, almost as active as when we're awake. In these moments, the brain processes memories, emotions, and experiences, weaving them into stories that can feel more real than life itself. Dreams can be a window into our deepest desires, fears, and unresolved conflicts. They can be prophetic, creative, or simply absurd. But one thing is certain, dreams are a universal human experience, occurring across all cultures and eras. They have inspired art, literature, and scientific discovery. From the ancient Greeks who saw dreams as messages from the gods to modern psychologists who view them as a key to understanding the mind. Now, let's turn our attention to tempo. Tempo, in its most basic sense, refers to the speed at which something occurs. In music, it's the pace of the beat; in life, it's the pace of our daily activities. But tempo is more than just a measure of speed, it's a reflection of our priorities, our values, and our state of mind. In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with messages that faster is better. We eat fast food, we use fast internet, we engage in fast relationships, and we even fast-forward through our own lives, always looking for the next thing. This obsession with speed has led to a phenomenon known as time poverty, the feeling that we never have enough time to do everything we want. We rush from one task to another, filling every moment with activity, yet somehow still feeling unfulfilled. But is this relentless tempo really making us happier or more productive? Research suggests otherwise. Studies have shown that when we slow down, we become more creative, more. To truly appreciate the relationship between dreams and tempo, we must delve into the science of sleep and time. Our bodies are governed by circadian rhythms, internal clocks that regulate our sleep-wake cycles, hormone release, and even body temperature. These rhythms are deeply connected to the Earth's rotation, and they influence every aspect of our physiology. When we respect these rhythms, we feel alert and energetic; when we disrupt them, we suffer from fatigue and disorientation. During sleep, our brains alternate between different stages, each with its own characteristic brainwave patterns. Non-REM sleep is divided into 3 stages, progressing from light sleep to deep sleep, where the body repairs itself. Then comes REM sleep, the stage most associated with vivid dreaming. Interestingly, the timing and duration of these stages are influenced by our circadian rhythm, which, in turn, is influenced by our daily tempo. If we maintain a consistent sleep schedule, our circadian RHY. Dreams have been a subject of fascination across cultures for millennia, and each society has its own unique perspective on what dreams mean and how they should be interpreted. In many indigenous cultures, dreams are considered a bridge to the spiritual world, a way to communicate with ancestors and receive guidance. The Aboriginal people of Australia, for example, have a concept called the Dreamtime, which is both a creation story and a map of the land, passed down through generations via dream narratives. In ancient Egypt, dreams were seen as messages from the gods, and priests would interpret them to predict the future. The Greeks had similar beliefs, with dream oracles like the one at Delphi providing counsel to leaders. In Eastern traditions, such as Buddhism and Hinduism, dreams are often viewed as illusions, manifestations of the mind that can be understood through meditation and mindfulness. In contrast, modern Western culture has largely relegated dreams to the realm of psych. Just as cultures have diverse views on dreams, they also have distinct approaches to tempo. Some societies are known for their fast-paced, high-pressure lifestyles, while others embrace a more leisurely pace. For instance, the concept of mañana in Spanish-speaking cultures suggests a relaxed attitude toward time, where deadlines are flexible and the present moment is valued over future obligations. In contrast, countries like Japan and Germany are often associated with punctuality and efficiency, where time is seen as a precious resource that must not be wasted. These cultural differences in tempo have profound effects on the way people live, work, and interact. In fast-paced cultures, people often experience higher levels of stress but also greater economic productivity. In slower cultures, people may have lower stress levels but also face challenges in competing globally. Interestingly, research has shown that the pace of life in a city can be measured by the walking speed of its P. The psychology of dreaming is a rich field that has produced many theories about why we dream and what our dreams mean. One of the most influential theories is the activation synthesis model proposed by J. Allen Hobson and Robert McCarley in the 1970s. According to this model, dreams are simply the brain's attempt to make sense of random neural signals that occur during REM sleep. The brain takes these chaotic signals and synthesizes them into a coherent narrative, creating the bizarre and often illogical stories we experience. While this theory emphasizes the physiological basis of dreams, other psychologists have focused on the psychological content. Sigmund Freud believed that dreams are the fulfillment of repressed wishes, often of a sexual or aggressive nature. He distinguished between the manifest content, the literal story of the dream, and the latent content, the hidden meaning. Carl Jung expanded on this idea, suggesting that dreams draw on a collective unconscious filled wit. Now, let's examine the psychology of tempo, which is equally fascinating. Tempo is not just an external measure of speed, it's deeply internal, affecting our cognition, emotions, and behavior. Psychologists have studied how the pace of life influences our mental processes, and the findings are revealing. When we are in a hurry, our attention narrows, focusing on immediate tasks and ignoring peripheral information. This can lead to poor decision-making, as we fail to consider long-term consequences. On the other hand, when we slow down, we are able to think more deeply, consider multiple perspectives, and make more thoughtful choices. Tempo also affects our emotional state. Fast-paced environments can trigger anxiety and stress, while slower environments promote relaxation and contentment. This is partly due to the release of stress hormones like cortisol, which are elevated when we feel rushed. Over time, chronic stress can lead to burnout, depression, and a host of physical ailments. The intersection, lucid dreaming and flow. Part 1 ends here. Now, let's dive into the psychology of tempo. Tempo, the pace at which we move through our days, is not just a matter of clock time, it's a psychological construct that shapes our perception of reality. When we speed up, our brains enter a state of heightened alertness, releasing cortisol and adrenaline, which can be exhilarating but also exhausting. On the flip side, when we slow down, our parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, promoting relaxation and introspection. The psychology of tempo is deeply tied to our sense of control. We often feel that if we can control the pace, we can control our lives. But this is a double-edged sword. When we impose a rigid tempo on ourselves, we may achieve more in the short term, but we risk burnout and a loss of spontaneity. Conversely, when we let tempo dictate us, we might feel like we're being swept along by a current we can't resist. The key is to recognize that tempo is a tool, not a master. It's about finding the rhythm that aligns with our. Now, let's explore the intersection of lucid dreaming and flow. Lucid dreaming is that fascinating state where you become aware that you're dreaming while still in the dream. It's like being the director of your own movie, with the ability to shape the narrative and environment at will. Flow, on the other hand, is a state of complete immersion in an activity, where time seems to disappear, and you're fully present in the moment. At first glance, these two states might seem unrelated, one happens in sleep, the other in wakefulness. But they share a common thread, both involve a heightened sense of agency and a dissolution of the self-other boundary. In lucid dreaming, you realize that the dream world is a creation of your mind, giving you the power to alter it. In flow, you become so absorbed in a task that your sense of self fades, and you merge with the activity. Both states require a delicate balance of control and surrender. You can't force lucidity, just as you can't force flow. The technology has radically transformed our relationship with both dreams and tempo. On one hand, we have devices that track our sleep cycles, apps that play binaural beats to induce lucid dreaming, and even smart alarms that wake us at the optimal moment. These tools promise to optimize our dream lives, making them more vivid, more controllable, and more restorative. But there's a paradox here. By trying to control our dreams through technology, we might actually be disrupting the natural, organic process of dreaming. The constant buzz of notifications, the blue light from screens, and the endless stream of information can fragment our sleep and reduce the time we spend in REM, the stage where most dreaming occurs. Similarly, technology has accelerated our tempo to unprecedented levels. We're expected to respond to emails instantly, to multitask across multiple platforms, and to be always on. This constant connectivity creates a sense of urgency that can be addictive, but it also leaves. Let me share some personal stories about when dreams and tempo clash. I remember a period in my life when I was working 2 jobs, studying for a certification, and trying to maintain a social life. My days were a blur of activity, and my nights were filled with restless, fragmented dreams. I would wake up feeling like I hadn't slept at all, and the dreams I did remember were chaotic and stressful. It was as if my brain was trying to process the overwhelming pace of my waking life, but it couldn't keep up. I was living at a tempo that was completely out of sync with my natural rhythm, and my dreams were bearing the brunt of it. Another time, I was on a silent meditation retreat, where the tempo was deliberately slow and deliberate. I had no deadlines, no notifications, no distractions. My dreams during that retreat were incredibly vivid and peaceful. I remember one dream where I was walking through a forest, and every leaf, every ray of sunlight, every sound was crystal clear. I woke up. Finding balance is the art of pacing. It's not about achieving a perfect equilibrium between dreams and tempo, but rather about learning to dance between the two. This art requires a deep understanding of our own rhythms and a willingness to adapt. One of the most effective ways to find balance is to incorporate periods of rest and reflection into our daily lives. This might mean taking a walk without a destination, meditating for 10 minutes, or simply sitting in silence with a cup of tea. These moments of stillness allow our minds to wander, to daydream, and to connect with the deeper currents of our psyche. They also help us to reset our tempo, to shift from the fast lane to a more sustainable pace. Another key aspect of pacing is learning to say no. We often overcommit ourselves because we fear missing out or disappointing others, but this only leads to burnout and resentment. By setting boundaries and prioritizing what truly matters, we can create space for both productivity and our. Thank you for watching Agent Amigos. If this talk sparked something in you, hit like, subscribe to AIMUSICMAN-DB, and share it with one person who needs to hear it. Knowledge is better when it is shared. See you at the next talk.